Coach, it's been a long time coming. The excitement's here finally. So much expectations for this team. Now it's about going out and showing what this team is capable of doing it on Saturday. Your thoughts?
I'll tell you what, it seems like it's been really fast. It doesn't seem very long to me. It seems like it's been really fast. I'm really excited. This is going to be the best atmosphere, I think, on the road that we've probably played in. It's going to be a big-time atmosphere. Obviously, games like, you think in the recent histories, UCLA game over there in 2013, USC last year. I mean, these are kind of big games you want to play in, and scheduling this game first has been really an interesting experience, because I don't know if I've ever. I think maybe one year at Tulsa we played BYU to open the season, and it really impacted our summer. So we're excited and ready to load up, and I still am glad we got a few more days of practice, because I like to practice and prepare, but I really love this team. We got a great team, great group of guys, and I got a big challenge ahead of us, and looking forward to it, man. This, like I keep saying that, I mean, this is the kind of game you want to coach in, it's the kind of game you want to play in, it's the kind of game our fans want to see, and so I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it.
Todd, they have a couple dynamic pass rushers, but Myles Garrett particularly seems like he's one of the best in the nation. What does he look like on film?
He'll be the best. I mean, you won't play any better. He's the arguably the best pass rusher in their conference, and would have to be the best in the country that I've seen on film. I haven't seen everybody, but he's as good as it gets. And but obviously, we got to do things to neutralize that the best you can. You're never going to, any great player, you're always going to. They're always going to make plays. You just got to neutralize it the best you can, and focus on what we do, being fundamentally sound. The big thing in this game is not, this is a big game, big time atmosphere. Everybody in the country watching. You got to come out of the gate strong. I'm glad we have this game, because when we start conference play, it's going to be the same thing. I mean, you can't come out of the gate any tougher than what we're going to in conference play. So you find out in a hurry where you're at. The key for us is don't beat yourself. Is play Sun Devil disciplined football, and obviously be physical, win the line of scrimmage, and not give up cheap plays. They've got great skill players on special teams and on offense, and so that's going to be the key in the game. And obviously the big advantage they have obviously is the crowd, and you got to keep the crowd out of it by winning the explosives and long sustained drives on offense.
Todd, I know you've gone back to Texas before, but is this special given the connection to this program and history?
Yeah. I mean, I was born and raised there, and I played Texas high school football, and coached Texas high school football, and obviously the person that I respect the most, that I looked up to the most immediately, there were guys like Tom Landry. There were guys that were just, growing up in Dallas, he was like he was an icon for who he was as a person. But RC was a person that I really studied under and admired, and so I spent a lot of time around that program, and so it's always good to go back to Texas. I'll have family there and stuff at the game, and it's neat for me personally, but I'll be pretty focused on the job at hand and helping put these guys in position to figure out a way to win.
Follow up on that. Is there a little bit extra swell of pride when you go back to Texas in your position?
I don't know. I think people around me know I want to win every day, every game. I'm not a very don't respond very good when I don't win. So, but yeah, I mean, I can't tell you. I just think it. I mean, a lot of people just. I'll tell you exactly how I feel. Of course, man. I'm a native Texan and proud of it. And so going back there and competing, that's the reason why we took the game. If you look at our future schedule, we'll be going back there quite a bit. It also has to do with our job here. And we have quite a few kids from the state of Texas here, and we're going to recruit there, so it helps to play there. It's hard to recruit in an area you don't play in, so I love doing that. My mom's not been doing that good, so she's not going to be able to come, so I'm a little disappointed in that, but she'll be watching on TV.
Coach, can you address Coach Slocum's stamp on special teams and maybe how you have evolved from a standpoint of red zone and short yardage?
Yeah, I mean, he's just as a football coach, he's one of the best football coaches I've ever worked with. I'm, one of the things we try to pride ourselves in, and I think one of the things that really has helped us as far as the teacher model and what we believe is to be a constant learner. And he is really, I mean, it's been great to be around him because he has brought, I knew he was a really, really good football coach, and he's exceeded my expectations. And not just from a special team standpoint, from an organizational standpoint, just from a perspective being around the organization he was for 10 years. Obviously, his background with his dad, he has really brought a lot to our program, and I think he's going to have a big impact on the special teams. And in all my years I've been coaching, there's not a better coach that I've worked with day to day than him. And I knew that because we've obviously, everything we had done in the past, we had studied with him. And whether it was, I first started bringing him in, I paid him to bring him in when I was at Allen High School to teach us special teams. So it's been a long relationship. And on the same hand, it's not going to be, magic overnight either, but I can tell you this, it's night and day, the preparation for the special teams and the meetings and the teaching and the progression that he's brought has been phenomenal. And then situationally, we're just farther ahead and time management and game day operations and how even from play calling and sequencing and all those type of things that happen in a game. It's been, he worked directly with the head coach there, and I think he brought a lot of expertise in that area of just being proactive. And so there's some things like, for instance, we're going to have just one person in the box that is working instant replay for us. Even though they review every play, we're watching those critical plays, like, for instance, that can be missed. The obvious plays they're going to get because they review every play, but like a spot. Sometimes they won't stop it for a spot and things like that. So we have a person working that. And then we're going to have a person just the last 2 minutes who takes over that's in charge of time management and managing the clock. And so, and do that from the box as well as, myself and Coach Norvell and Coach Patterson from the field. But Coach Slocum will oversee all that. And so he's brought a lot of things like that that's, I love it because I love learning. And I've learned an awful lot from him here in a short period of time.
You touched on it a little bit, but obviously there's a few players on Texas A&M who are local kids that chose to go there over staying in state. What kind of impact does this game have on recruiting for the future?
Oh, I tell you, like I say all the time, I think the best thing we can do for recruiting is win 15 games. That's all you have to do. So, I think, it's just the fact of winning and being successful and doing it the way we've done it in the past has helped with that. There's been a lot mentioned about a couple of kids that are going there and playing. Hey, you know what? I wish every kid to end up where he's supposed to end up. And, they're not all going to end up in one spot. But does it have any impact on us for the game? No. This is Arizona State Sun Devils going and competing. And we chose to play this game. Chose to play it where we're playing it. Chose to play it on the road because we have that kind of belief in our players and our team. And so I think too, you reap kind of what you sow in recruiting, and you can tell. Anybody that's been around our program, you can go out to practice and tell the level of player that we have on the field out there is dramatically gotten better. And so we've got a great system to offer. Obviously, our first priority is here in this valley, then this state. Obviously, then we move over, to a gas tank away, Southern California. And then we have areas of strength, and we've gone all over the nation. The best and the brightest with the best character that fit us. That's the ones that we're gonna recruit. And so we're not one mention of any kid. We're evaluating Kyle Allen. We're evaluating him as a opposing quarterback and looking at the things he does well and maybe the things that we can take advantage of and we don't worry about all that because there's too much about getting your team prepared to play and then worry about that. Does this game impact recruiting? Well, sure. You win every big game you're in, you do pretty good recruiting. So I'm a firm believer in all that in recruiting. I'm not big into the, there's too much made of crackerjack recruiters and all this stuff, and I just don't see it. I think that perception is reality with young people, and if their perception is that you're a big-time program, then you have a good chance to get big-time recruits. But we're interested in signing young people that have character. That means they have a service and a sacrifice mentality, that they're smart, they value their, we're not really interested in somebody who wants to come here because of our uniforms. And then we're interested in guys that want to work and have a passion. And then if you do those things, you can have discipline. And that's, it's a great disservice for us to say that everybody that plays here fits in the Valley fits here. That's not going to be the case. There's a whole bunch of them that do, and we're going to give them first priority. And I can tell you this, that when DJ Foster runs out of the tunnel here, it's pretty special. Be DJ Foster. You only have one hometown, and we have a big-time program right here in this town. And he could have ran out of the tunnel at Notre Dame, it wouldn't have been the same. So every person is different, and you wish them, I'm from Texas and I'm coaching at Arizona State, and it's the best opportunity I've ever had and perfect fit for me. So, I think that it has a little bit of impact when it comes to recruiting, but absolutely winning is the number one thing for recruiting.
Kirk Herbstreit has you guys making the college football playoff.
Smart guy.
What, if anything, do you think could get in the way of that?
Oh, about 15 opponents probably. No, my deal is, see, most people think, well, golly, you're focused on all these lofty goals. Look up here at that wall. That's what we're focused on. And that's every rep, every day, and what we're doing. And but I'm not going to lie to you. Somebody asked me the other day, is that a big deal to you? Man, yeah. Man, it's gratifying that we've worked our tail off to put ourselves in position that obviously someone of Kirk's, knowledge and prestige would pick us in the top four. We liked it. Our kids liked it. It doesn't mean anything. We appreciate it. It's a show of respect. Just like preseason rankings, do they matter? Yeah. If you ain't in them, you didn't do very good the year before. So we just can't get distracted. And our big thing has been really coach, teach, and be ready. And that's one of the reasons why we scheduled this game, is because this puts us right out of the gate, in a hurry, in that kind of pressure cooker, and we're hoping that this will be the first of many big ones we get to play in. So the biggest thing is just not thinking too far ahead, and just, the reality is, the truth of the matter is, you got to win a whole bunch of close football games, and I believe that this team can do that. And so the challenges ahead of us is obviously staying healthy, and doing a great job of keeping your energy and your focus each week. And I think it's mental maturity, being able to handle that. And, it's like when you haven't had that experience. That's why I think those games like Wisconsin and the 2 Notre Dame games and, all those games, it's easier once you've been there. And we haven't won a championship yet, but that's we're getting where I think we can compete and do that. So I think the biggest obstacle when it comes to to reaching that goal and being there is just getting better every day and staying healthy.
Coach, I want to get your thoughts on Michael Bercovici, who showed so much patience and perseverance, and now he's being rewarded. He'll be the starting quarterback for the team this year, and what you think that'll mean to him after waiting so long.
I think one, you look at what that says about his character, and just being honest with you, I thought he'd probably transfer. Just being honest with you. Everybody was like, hey, he's going to, because he was such a talented player. But, obviously we didn't want him to. And that just speaks volumes about his character. And also, too, the other side of that is how much he believes in our program and how much it means to him to be a Sun Devil. And, I always say that's a great teaching moment, because everybody would have said, you know what, hey, that guy, he graduated, he can go somewhere else. But he would have missed out on a pretty special evening over at the Coliseum there in his hometown. And then I think it's, you're kind of a product of the challenges that you've had, and when you serve and you invest and you sacrifice the way he has, man, it means a lot to him. I don't know I've ever coached a kid that I think it means more to him than to Mike. So he's a guy that is, again, he just keep your eye focused on the job at hand and the next play, and he's going to be a great one. But I think that's I know one thing, if I was a NFL coach, that's the kind of quarterback I'd look for, is a guy that has not just talk about character, but has demonstrated it by his walk. So Mike's he's getting better every day. He's like having a coach on the field. All the things that Taylor did, he's at that level and expanded upon that level. I think Taylor's the best I've ever coached, and I think that Mike's got a chance to be better.
Quick follow-up to that, Coach. Just wondering what your thoughts on how that experience that Mike got last year will help him this season.
Oh, I think it's there's no substitute for experience, man. I mean, especially in the games he got that experience in, and especially the things he faced. Didn't all go well, and to go into your senior year and already have experience playing against UCLA, USC, and Stanford is big experience for you. And so again, nothing we did last year guarantees us anything. And so that's what's great about this. You got to go and earn it this year. But I do think that experience is very valuable to him. I think he'll have less of an edge, less of a nervousness because he's been in those situations before.
So, Coach, you got here around the time Kyle Allen was going into his junior year. So how have you seen him progress from that standpoint, and what's putting him in the best position to succeed?
Well, he's exactly what I thought he was when we were recruiting him. I mean, you can tell he's a high-character kid, very much in command, very smart quarterback, makes all the throws, executes their offense very well. I mean, be able to play as a freshman is pretty impressive. And I thought he did a remarkable job, and he's improves every single game that he's out there, and solid. I mean, he's a real solid quarterback. He'd be real. I was trying to somebody to compare him to whose style he would be like. Would be more like. He's more of a drop back kind of guy. In our league, it'd be maybe Kessler from. USC, but he's really good quarterback. I think he makes good decisions, and the things that I'm impressed with him is how well he throws the vertical ball. Does a great job of locating the ball in the vertical passing game. There's a lot of guys got strong arms, and he can make all the throws, but he's really accurate down the field and makes quick decisions, and is a guy that does buy time in the pocket. He's not he's not a guy that can't move. He moves really, well enough. And he's hurt people running quarterback draw. He's hurt people scrambling and extending plays. So he's a solid quarterback, really. I mean, I've been impressed with him.
Todd, you talked about how Mike has persevered through all of this. How has he changed as a player, as a man, from that guy that lost the position battle seemingly so long ago?
Yeah, he's just, this is mental maturity. Mike seems. I guess he's been here a long time, but he seems a lot older, than everybody else. Just kind of more his mental maturity and kind of how he operates. I think that he has. I think he definitely has the respect of everybody in the room, but he's how he's different is just his mental maturity. He really is. He's a guy. I mean, obviously we got Taylor going into coaching. I'm trying to talk him into doing the same thing, but I think we might lose them both to being lawyers. But I hope we keep. I think we got a chance to keep Taylor. But Mike, how Mike's different than he was before. Mike has always been a great talent, and he's just really matured. I mean, he's really matured mentally, and I think the strength of Mike Bercovici is not his physical talents. It's the intangibles. It's his character. It's his ability to handle adversity. It's how hard he studies the game and how smart he is, and he walks the walk. And that's how he's earned the respect of our players. So mental maturity would be how, just really mature in how he approaches every day.
One more Mike question. You've always known he's had a very dynamic arm. How much did that game against Stanford last year, where he really kind of managed everything really well, kind of convince you that after Taylor was going to leave that Mike would be able to continue keeping the program at a championship level?
I'll tell you, I told you guys this, I think my first year, I wasn't worried about the quarterback position. And I haven't been until now, because when you had Taylor and Mike, I never worried about it. Even last year, when he got hurt, I mean, it was not like, because we had so much confidence. I never even hesitated. As soon as the season was over, matter of fact, in bowl preparation, I told Mike, "This is your team." I mean, there's not, obviously we have competition, but there's not anybody close to where he's at. So this is definitely his team, and I'm a little worried. We got to make sure we get somebody, behind there we got great talent. We just got to get it ready. It's just very, very young. There's a lot of youth behind him, and we had a lot of experience at that position with the two guys we've had there. So, I knew. And Doug, I labored over that decision, because Mike did so well. Does that make sense? And obviously Taylor Kelly and who he was the reason why we went the way we went. But we went that way because we thought it gave us the best chance to win. But that was very difficult. So from the time Mike got in the game and after we seen him in the heat of the battle, I knew. There was no doubt in my mind where our future would be this year. This would be Mike Bercovici's team, no doubt in my mind. And that's that was. That's how good he was. And I think, you really look at that. When Taylor won the job, we didn't tell you guys this, that was for the week. They were just, it was this close. And then obviously Taylor never, nothing ever, he never gave him a chance. And he was still right there. And you wouldn't believe this guy. This guy would prepare every week like this was his team, every week. And that's what we're telling the guys now. Young guys, you got to prepare like this is your team, right? And and then when Taylor got hurt and Mike came in, I wasn't surprised how well he did. And so there was not any doubt in my mind. I was struggling on what decision to make then. But when you got a guy that, with the with Taylor, there was so much there and it was so different, kind of how they were so different in the people they were as far as how their skill sets, and us having to turn and go this direction as opposed to, there was a lot. It was not an easy decision because of how good Mike was and because they were so similar in the intangibles of how they went about running the team.
Coach, given Coach Slocum's history with the Texas A&M program and the fact that this is going to be his first game as a coach for ASU, how do you think he's approaching this game?
Oh, like a professional. We've got Coach Cassidy, I think spent over 20 years there. Obviously, Shawn's dad and himself spent a lot of time at A&M. So, I think that makes it special for them. Going back there, I think they all have a tremendous respect for the great tradition of that program. And so, but on the same hand, I mean, we have a job to do for these players, and we're all standing on the sideline. Our job is to get these guys prepared and give them a chance to win.
Coach, I know usually that in week one you play an opponent usually much inferior than you. You don't really tip your hand when it comes to game planning, what you show on game film. How much of a challenge is it when you play a team like Texas A&M where there's only so much you can hold back just because of the caliber of opponent?
Yeah, there won't be no holding back. I can tell you that. No, I don't know. I've said this a lot to you guys. I wish that we would have a national scheduling policy for the fans. Because, man, this is the way you ought to start it every year. I can tell you this. I like it. I like how it affects our summer. Is it easy? No, it's not easy. Especially, going on the road like that and not having a return game. That's, not many people would do that, but we'll do it. And so, I think it's made our team better. I think our team has had a sense of urgency and preparation. I think our team is going to be tested in a big way. And I'm a firm believer that we're ready for that test. I mean, this is a really good football team we're playing. Two really good football teams, two very explosive football teams that are very capable of scoring a lot of points very fast. And so this is it's exciting. But I like it. I like having this game there. I think when you play better people, it makes you better. It's just like you can't win big games and never play in a big game. You know what I'm saying? When you play in a big game every once in a blue moon, it doesn't help you. And so I like that we're starting off this way in the season, and then when you start conference, you're going to start off in a big way as well. So I like that. I don't, and I think our fans. I think our fans are excited about that. So there's nothing about this I don't like. I just wish that it was, we could do more of it and not hurt our ability to get in the playoff. You know what I'm saying? Because in reality, you could, in any season, like when we played Wisconsin, Notre Dame, we split with them. We wind up, I guess, winning the Pac-12 South. And if we would have won the conference championship, and the playoff was intact, we might not have been in the fight because we scheduled a hard preseason, which should not affect you. Conference champions should be in that playoff, and so it's what I hope they look at in the future, and I hope they look at it as you move forward, because at the end of the day, we should give the fans what they want too. And I'm just like that. I tell people all the time, I'm a fan too. I started off, in my career coaching 7th grade football. Man, I want to play in the best places. I want to play in the biggest games, and so that's why we're playing it. And I think it's a smart thing, but we'll see. All right.